Did you get it?
Hello.
You got it.
Yes, yeah, got it. Hello, Julie.
Hello, Tina. How are you?
Uh, I want to say I think better. How about you?
Yes, I am better. Yes, it was a crappy week, totally crappy week last week. I don't know. I think everyone was probably feeling it, but for me, it was really crappy. January itself was pretty crappy for me. So I'm
Yeah,
happy to see it gone,
yeah. Lots. I know I had a shitty week too last week.
right?
A lot. Yeah,
Right?
like it just felt like um, questionable behaviors and questioning, what's going on in my world and happening with me. Like, yeah. So
Yeah,
just a lot of
yeah.
we were talking about this unnerved, we felt unnerved last week,
Yes,
like we were being
very.
challenged and pushed, and it's like, where's this all coming from? And I
Right?
don't know if
More
you,
tests, more tests.
yeah, and I don't know if anyone else out there had the same
I
type of experiences, but I
I'm
guess, if you
curious. I
want to
was
share,
curious.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I'll
was
put the
curious to see
comments
how
on.
everyone's week went. Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
started with Monday for me, and I had this real aggressive woman in my face. It started with
Oh
that for
yeah.
me, and I was just kind of pulled back. And so the rest of the week just went down from there. All the way to
Yeah.
yesterday's catastrophe. Yeah, I had my dogs chew up a tarot card deck on me yesterday.
Yeah.
So I woke up to that. That was the end of January for me, gone. So
Yeah.
I'm so hoping everybody else has had a better week, and we are into February now, and the energy has shifted for sure.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the topic of today's show. We're gonna, share what we feel and know based on numerology, the tarot, the spirit animal, and any
Yes.
psychic impressions that we pick up on. And I just want to say something. So usually when
Yes.
I like to tune into the energy of the month, like, before I start writing. So just to, receive. And it's usually I get the spirit animal like that, like boom. This time it was like, no,
Yeah.
that little, I want to say the little bugger was hiding. So it was like, I couldn't get an image, but it was like, oh, it's got an interesting personality. And, so little bits and pieces were coming out. So it's like I had the
Yeah.
article written, but it was like, okay, I can't publish this because I don't know the animal yet. It's not coming. Why is it? It's like it was hiding. And then
Yeah.
finally last night it was like, oh, here we go. It showed itself. And
Was it the groundhog like we were thinking?
no, it's it's the ermine. And this isn't a
The
very well-known
Ermine.
animal. Yeah, so it's part of the weasel family. So look at that little weasel was acting like a weasel.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
And
That
the
makes sense.
ermine, most of the ermines, I don't know, I didn't read up like how
A
prolific this
bit. Yeah.
animal is, like, and where it's all makes its home. But I know it's popular. I mean, it's an animal that's native to my area. Like, I didn't know that. And it's white. Like the majority of the ermines in the wintertime, they go white because they can hide in the snow.
Oh, camouflage themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's probably,
interesting. Okay, I'm going to look that
yeah.
up.
So, anyways, for
Okay.
those that are curious, so ermine, and it's written there on the screen. That's hard to find the spiritual traits of it. Not many people write about it. So look it under as well as the weasel and the ferret family because it's associated with ferrets as well.
Oh,
So it,
interesting. All
so
right,
I
I'll look it
find
up.
like there's a lot. I feel like, okay, a lot of its influence is already being felt. At least I feel it, right? And it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so what's hiding from us and what's going to be, it's like things will be revealed in their own time this coming month.
yeah,
So it's going to be frustrating for those that want to know right now or want to have a sense of what's going on or happening. It
yeah,
won't be apparent right away. Just take it easy. Let it reveal itself in its own time. Just, yeah. And also
yeah.
too, yeah, we might be drawn
Easy.
to hiding things from others or wanting to camouflage, certain parts, whether that's a personality trait or something we're working on as far as an activity, or plan, right? So
Yeah.
not
I can
everything's
see that.
revealed. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. Well,
Yeah.
hello to Donna and Mom, Doreen, and is it Nicole?
Yeah,
Yes.
Nicole. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to
Yeah.
see you all here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Look up the
Yeah.
Ermite and see.
Ermine. Ermine.
Ermine. Look, I didn't even say it right.
Yeah. That's okay.
But I
Mercury's
can see
retrograde
that because
too. Yeah.
Mercury retrograde, I can't find any words either, right? I can't speak. They all just
Yeah.
leave my head, right when
Yeah.
I
Me
think I have a
too.
good point, there it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you were also seeing, I read some of your energy because you had sent it to me. I know it was unfinished, but I got to read a little bit of February energies.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Neptune, the planet
Right.
Neptune being into focus for you. And I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting because Neptune is kind of a planet of illusions and intuition and being kind of out of it in between states, but a daydreaming kind of feel to
Right.
it. It also brings like kind of I was reading an article about it. I can't find the right word for it, but like a fraud feeling because you're so out of your head and so ungrounded. So you're feeling like you're not really in your own life, so to speak. I was reading a little bit about that.
Yes.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
It does. Yeah. And that aligns with the Ermine. And the
Oh, there
Ermine
you go.
/ weasel meaning, yeah, because one of their traits, that well, most people when you say weasel, right away we think of like, deceit or being,
Yeah.
not um on the not being truthful or like, yeah, being cunning, that kind of
Yeah.
characteristics.
Yeah. A little
Yeah,
weasel. We all have little weasels in our life.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the planet is it part of the water family too? That animal then are they water?
I don't
Probably
think
varmint.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they seem to have like they're underground dwellers, so they like to like live in caves or make
Oh.
hide. So that's why
Yeah.
like it's like this month and like that aligns with Neptune if things are like, on the unconscious or hidden from us, right? So that
Right.
aligns with that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Venus too came up for some reason. I'm like Neptune, and it
Yeah.
was going like Neptune and Venus. So it's like, what do you feel about that for Venus?
Venus is the sign of Taurus too. Was ruled Taurus
Okay.
is ruled by Venus. So I have the Venus symbol. Michael gave me this little charm back in 2019 on a really, really hard night because it's a symbol of strength and feminism and things like this too. So
Right.
so I love Venus, and Venus is all about it just got a fluffier feel to Venus than Neptune does. Neptune feels like a hard kind of water feel to it, doesn't it? It's got the trident symbol, it just feels more
Right.
powerful, where Venus
Yeah.
feels softer to me and more feminine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the I did pull up the card for Neptune. I was looking at that, and
Okay.
it's the
Right.
Hanged
Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
Hanged Man is ruled by Neptune. And it makes
Interesting.
sense because the Hanged Man is suspended. I thought it was 7 days that the Hanged Man hung upside down to get a different perspective of life, but it was 9 days. So that's interesting because 9 is that completion number.
Great. Yeah.
But there's water down here, and the traditional Hanged Man, he's hanging over water as well. And but there's an expression of happiness and joy because the Hanged Man is seeing everything differently. It's a whole
Mm,
different perspective that they're gaining in this energy that we all get in. Sometimes it's a stuck energy. You can stay in there for a while because you're learning this new perception, this new take on life.
right.
But the difficult thing about the Hanged Man energy is that you're seeing things so differently than everyone around you because you're in this different kind of intuitive, dreamy, cloudy kind of Neptune
Mm,
mode. So you're not seeing things the same way. And these are truths to you. You're seeing these things as your truths. So when you're expressing this, it comes across as a little bit challenging or people are just not understanding where you're coming from, of course, because they're not seeing it like you're seeing it. So there
right.
is a little bit of that energy in there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dog is barking to confirm that I'm right in this.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Hi,
Yeah,
Hazel.
exactly.
It's so good to see you. Yes.
Yeah.
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 So I was learning a little bit about that energy too. So the
Yeah. That's interesting.
Neptune-ness
And
of all of this. Yes.
that card so aligns with a lot of because February is the number 7 month. And
Mm-hmm. Yes.
when you said like the dreams and dreamy quality, and 7 is about dreams, both daydreams and our nighttime dreams. And
Right.
it'll be common for a lot of people to feel like they're not in their head this month,
Yeah.
and feel like, things are out of this world and things feel, I'm going to say, unnerving because,
Yeah.
we are a society where, it's about being real and, being about the proof and seeing it. You need to see it first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the number 7
Right.
and the hangman, they operate totally opposite. Pardon me, totally opposite, where it's like, no, there's more to life than meets the eye. Not everything is known to us. Life is a
Yeah.
mystery still, right? Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all going through a little bit of this deprogramming, I guess, especially us that are older, because all of our foundations have really crumbled on what we were thinking was real,
Right,
to us.
right.
And that is unsettling for the younger generation as well, too. They can get a little bit, even more so because you're at more of a vulnerable age, and it
Yeah,
can seem overwhelming too. So it just seems
yeah,
overwhelming sometimes too. When you're breaking down those programs, you have to rebuild.
yeah,
And so that rebuilding, you kind of have to remove yourself a little bit. But
yeah, yeah, yeah. And what about
yes.
Venus? Did you figure out what card is
Yes.
connected to
So
Venus? Okay.
Venus is the Empress, which is
Oh,
very, very interesting,
nice.
right? Because the Empress is all
Mm,
about fertility and the earth and more grounded, a more grounded feel to the Empress than for sure. Also dreamy though. The Empress is one of the first people, that's on the fool's journey in the tarot. Um, so it is a beginning, a start to where we're creating these new ideas. So now we've deprogrammed a little bit, and now we have to reprogram. We have to birth these new ideas of what is real, because there's so many untruths out there, and we've learned for a very long time to just kind of keep your truth to yourself anyway. So now that they're all in our face, it can get overwhelming and confusing and frustrating. So I'm looking for, I liked your meditation song, your
oh,
of the week. Yeah,
yeah,
because that's what we need, right? It's just kind of bubbling brooks and some quiet and calm and healing
yeah,
music. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, yeah,
Hello, Vicky. There's my
yeah. Hi,
sister.
Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what the Empress. What do you think of when you see the Empress?
So
I see
she
the
looks
moon.
pregnant. Oh, I didn't
She's
notice that.
very
I didn't
pregnant.
notice the moon.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take off the one banner here. Hide. Okay. So yeah, I can't see the moon. It looks like the sun,
Yeah.
right? There's the sun.
Yeah. Right
But
up there.
the
Yeah.
first thing I was drawn to, it's like she looks pregnant.
With the earth in this card.
Yeah,
This is the Light
yeah,
Seer's Tarot. Yeah. She looks pregnant with
yeah.
the earth.
So, and
So
like
she's
that
pregnant.
hidden too, right? Because
It is.
I
And under
mean,
the moon.
yes, now,
Yeah.
yeah, so nowadays we can find out the sex of the baby, but that's it. Just pretty like,
Right.
besides other health issues if they can, depending on the test, okay? But we
Yeah.
don't know what
Yeah.
it's going to look like. I want to go visual here. Like we don't know until the baby arrives. So that aligns with the 7 energy of
Yeah.
the month, where it's like we're not going to know things ahead of time. It'll be revealed
Yeah.
after. So it's almost like, okay, you
Yeah.
have to kind of, surrender, or like where I say like, or allow the universe. And the universe, I call it the universe, but that for me, that encompasses like God, spirits,
Yeah.
angels, guides,
Me
like all
too.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, me too.
the
Yeah.
seven energy, it's like it likes to take over, because it's like,
Hmm.
okay, it has a presence of, okay, it's our turn to show you our world
Hmm.
to you. So that aligns with the Empress, like, okay, they're trying to birth things, or they're trying to bring things into our lives, but it's like we don't know. Like, they'll give birth, we'll find out, we'll see it like after. But it's like, in the meantime, they're
Yeah.
at work behind the scenes, and it's like, what doesn't make sense? What's going on? How is this going to work out? You know,
Yeah. Right.
and it's, you
That
just
makes
have to
sense.
surrender and allow, because they do have our, we have to have faith, they have our back, right? Even if at the
Yeah,
time, if
for
it
sure.
thinks or looks crazy, like if we feel like this is crazy. So yeah, I
Yeah.
tell people,
Yeah.
yeah, so
And
it's a month. Yeah, go ahead.
it's a month of emotional release too. A lot of releasing. That's what the Empress kind of reminds me of too,
Mhm.
is just kind of a purge of the old programs that have come down, just a purging of all of the old,
Yeah,
and making way for this new world, really,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And also
Yeah,
too, like, she looks like she's about nurturing,
she is. Yeah.
right?
She is all about nurturing. The Empress is the divine feminine as well. And I do feel the divine feminine kind of rolling into the collective a little more
Yeah,
nurturing and understanding is heading our way. We've been in a very
yeah,
masculine, divine masculine state for a while, so the
yeah,
divine feminine takes its time, as she does.
yeah, yeah,
But when
yeah. But this,
she comes in. Yeah.
yeah, and this is the decade of that all coming out again. I feel personally like this is a decade where the divine feminine is going to become more and more prevalent, more and more known, and more part of our lives. It's not going to be easy, but as each year progresses, there'll be more and more. And because I
Yeah.
feel like the way of, I call it the white man, the way of the white man is leaving
Yes.
us, and they're not liking that. They're not liking that.
No.
And
No.
I'm not saying not just for the white man, but for everyone, because it's like, even though it's an unfair, because I feel it's an unfair, unjust, limiting
Hmm.
energy,
Hmm.
we're used to that.
Oh
So
yeah, it's been
it's,
programmed.
you know,
Right.
yeah. So it's like, even though we know we
It's
can
been
do
programmed.
better, there's better, we're
That's right.
attached to that in some way, some
Yes,
manner still. So yeah.
absolutely. You mentioned Jesus coming up a lot in the
Oh
in the
yes.
forecast. I'm anxious for you to get that out. Now
Okay.
talk about deprogramming. When you think of Jesus
Yeah.
and white, you think of a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. Not
Right.
Jesus. That's
That's
not who
right.
Jesus was. Jesus was
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
that person.
No.
So that's a program that's been instilled in us because of our education. And
Yeah.
it's not our fault. We
No.
learned these things from a very
That's right.
early age. So, but
Yeah.
you do have to break it down sooner or later. You have to realize that that was not true. But
Mhm.
we're talking about the energy of Jesus today, 2,000 years later. We're not talking about the man enough. We need to talk more about the man,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, so I grew up Catholic. I mean, it wasn't like, the be all end all of my family life, but I mean, it was there, right?
Yes.
And so, so when I learned of, like, I don't know when, but the moment that Jesus might not be blue-eyed, and not blonde, but he was more like light brown hair, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Different
what? Like, it
version.
was shocking
Yeah.
to me. Like,
Yeah.
but once I, like, got over the initial shock, I was like, okay, Tina, like, yeah, like, be
Yeah.
reasonable about this. Like, is there really going to be a blue-eyed, blonde, or light brown hair
Six
Jesus
foot
in the Middle
tall,
East?
they were
Yeah,
all of
and good
4 feet.
looking,
Yeah.
like looking like a model. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, is that? So it's like, if you think about it, it's like it probably was invented that way to get more, I don't know, more white people, or more the majority on that side of the religion, right? If we make him
Yeah.
look like
It
this, that'll
must have
be,
been.
for some reason
That's right.
they had a reason for it, right? So
Well, they
now
won't
it's
feel
like,
different. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm like, I'm not saying I'm not a religious person and it's not something I pursue, but I mean, I'm open to learning about the different religions and different ideas and belief systems. And I wonder, like, my curiosity is like, I want to know about Jesus the man, right? Because a lot of times we
Yeah.
hear him as far as like in relation to the Messiah and you know, presenting, you know, I guess values related to religion, no matter the religion.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm not going to
Right.
focus on one. And it's like, well, I
Right.
want to know, like, you know, what were his struggles and, you know, how did he learn what he learned? And, you know, how did he feel about being, you know, at the time, if he knew, like, you know, the impact he would have? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if he did, right?
Right.
At that time.
I know. Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
think about history, a lot of times, you know, these people that we look up to or have, you know, have them as, you know, a certain type of leader, um,
Hmm.
probably at the beginning, they weren't well received. They weren't welcome. They weren't highly regarded, right? It's
No.
like, you know,
Right.
is it after all time has passed by where they put into that position, right?
Right. The stories, it's like the game telephone, they get
Yeah,
exaggerated over the years
right.
and interpreted differently.
Right. It's, yeah, and it's like anything. Like, it's like if someone introduces you a new idea or possibly a new way of thinking, it's not always well received,
No.
no matter who
Right.
it is. You don't have to be famous or not, right? And it's like it takes over time for people to open up to it or to embrace it more.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you know, it's not about bashing Jesus. It's just about like, okay, what does he truly mean and what kind of a life did he lead? Because it's like I feel people want to relate to him on some level and to put him on that
Hmm.
pedestal. It's like, you know, and I also question, if Jesus were here today, would he want to be put on that pedestal? Like, what would he say to
Right.
us about how he's been presented all these years, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't know, because I don't think he would be very well received today. You know, he would just be another person up on their soapbox, probably. But at the time, I think he was probably just a man with the same struggles. I know he was, with the same struggles that we have, and people listening to him. You know, he's become magical throughout the years. He was magical, but Jesus said, I am the Son of God and you are my brother. You know, he didn't separate himself like they like to do with Jesus. You know, he
Yeah,
said, you my brother, so you too
yeah,
are the Son of God, you know.
yeah,
And the healing, Jesus was a magical healer, but the magic in Jesus was he didn't see the sickness. He just looked at them as healthy
yeah,
beings, the energy of them, you know, he saw
yeah,
them as healthy, you know, souls. So, and when you look at somebody with pure love and unconditional love, you see no sickness, no flaws in them. They
that's
become
right.
that energy, you know. And
Yeah,
that's all we need, is someone to look at us like that, right?
yeah, yeah. And, you know, the other thing, I mean, I know everyone's, you know, it's such a controversial subject, Jesus, right?
It really is.
And
Oh
and
yes,
someone
it
and
really is.
someone posted a angry face. So I don't know if they're
Uh-oh.
angry
Was it
at
Malin?
no, no,
I wish I
it
knew how
wasn't
to say
her.
your name. Okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't her. Wasn't
That's
her.
okay. We can't make
But
everybody happy, Tina.
no, no, but um, something. It's like, so everyone's at different, how would I say? I don't want to say levels. Maybe I don't know if that's the right word when it comes to Jesus, right? Everyone has their own belief
Yeah.
system and
Oh yeah, for sure.
right and thoughts about it,
Yes.
and I respect that. Um, but I feel like this might be a month where more of it will come out in the open about
Mhm.
Jesus and maybe his life, or maybe people will be wanting to explore more about Jesus and like what that truly means, because I find those who say they live like according to Jesus' values or ways, they don't. Honestly, I don't.
No, you're right about that.
Because
You're
because
right.
I feel like Jesus, he totally had no kind of judgment. No, he was just so open and loving
That's
to
right.
all. And right? It just didn't
That's right.
matter who you were, your background, what position you held in like nothing. He was there for
Unconditional.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's hard to do because
Oh my God.
not everyone,
Yes.
people can be cruel, people can be unpleasant to be around with. Like, yeah, so
Hmm.
it's not easy. And the other thing I
Yeah.
want to go with that is like, I'm also, she didn't come up, but it's like Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
How many of
Yeah.
us have been
Right.
taught like she was, like a prostitute and she was saved by Jesus and blah, blah. And it's like, was she really like, because
Yeah. Who was she?
I've come across a few articles where that theory is disputed and they feel like Jesus learned more from Mary Magdalene
Yeah. I've read
and that
those as well.
and
Yeah.
that Mary Magdalene was actually a healer
Yeah.
and Jesus spoke for her or did a lot of the things out front because at the time women didn't weren't looked
Couldn't.
upon
Right.
as being healers or in that positive frame like
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
so that
Absolutely right.
yeah
Yeah.
so it's interesting. It's like, okay, all the different theories, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, are these all going to come
Yeah.
out? I mean, I don't know, I can't say for sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus did come up a lot for me when I was tuning into February's energy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I've always turned to Jesus my whole life. I asked Jesus for protection and healing. And,
Mm,
I
great.
love the energy of Jesus and what he represents, and
Hmm.
I wish all religions that do honor Jesus just honored those traits, of unconditional love. Because when you're just shutting others out that don't believe
Yeah,
the way you believe, that's not what Jesus did. So
yeah,
I see what you
yeah,
mean about that. Yeah.
yeah,
Jesus was
yeah.
all accepting. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean,
Hello, my
some of
cousin
this.
Diana. Yes,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry. I
Yes.
interrupted
Oh,
you.
that's okay. No, no, there's, um, I was going to say too, it's like some of the stories, written about Jesus. It's also too, I wonder, like, how did they know him? Like, is that a true story or are
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
sharing? Is it a perception or is it something that was passed down? Like,
Hmm.
how stories are passed down from family
I
to
do.
family, but they can get
Yeah.
distorted. So, or,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. And it's not because I'm trying to again, it's not about discounting. It's just about, I'm curious. I want to know more. I want to open up more to
Yeah.
what he truly is all
Well,
about in his life and the man. You see what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
yes, I do. Hello, Karen. Yes, I do. And the Bible was written 600 years after Jesus,
Okay.
so there, of course it
Mhm.
was, stories passed down of what happened then. And we all
Mhm.
know how those are. Those are great. I love the Bible for the moral stories, the values, that it instills, the core of who you can be as a person when you're living this wonderful life, this giving life of yourself. That's a wonderful path to take. And I think they're wonderful stories to integrate into you. But I don't, how can you take it so literally when it was written 600 years after the fact?
Yeah.
That's my thing with it. But
Yeah. And yeah, go ahead. So
no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
gonna,
I was just saying.
yeah, I'm just gonna take a pause here. So we have a few people that are sharing their date of births and asking personal questions. And this show's not about the personal readings. Like, we're not doing free readings. So if anyone misunderstood the show topic, I apologize. We're sharing forecasts like for the collective, what came through for us for the month ahead, that will,
Yes.
make its way into our lives. So this is general. Um,
Yes. Come
but
back
going
though,
back,
because we do
yeah,
free readings once a month.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that show will appear
Don't
sometime
go
this month.
away.
Yeah.
Right?
Um, so I'm just going to bring up like the Bible. So the Bible for me, I always, like, I have a hard time understanding it. Like, I just can't get into the Bible. And so I can't really say much about it because it's like I don't know a lot about the Bible stories. I mean, there's some that I do know, but I was never one who could sit down and read it from beginning to end because it just goes
Yeah.
over me. Like, I just
Yeah,
have a
me
hard
too.
time. And the stories that I do know, I don't agree with them, all of them, because I have a hard time because they feel and come across as being cruel. And it's like, how could that be?
Yeah.
How could that
Right?
be right? Or the way.
Yeah.
So that's where I
Yeah.
sit with the Bible, or modern day
That's
Bible.
exactly
I don't
where
know
I
because
sit
there's
too.
different
Yeah.
versions. Yeah. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yes. I
that.
agree.
That's
I don't
about
like the dark times.
or some of the things that they share, like they're against this or against, or you
Yeah.
lash out on this person because they did this, and it's like, no, I don't think so, and I don't think that's
Well, don't
something
you
Jesus
see?
would do.
No, but I could totally see how these stories emerge, like the story of Noah and the ark, because if the people in 1,000 years from now, looking back at 2020, are going to think that we were all being punished for our greed and our out of control and our need for popularity and our
Right,
vanity, they're going to look at us if they've evolved from us,
right,
if
right,
they go in this direction, so
right.
yeah, I mean it's all interpretation and how you're looking at that. It can feel like a punishment, right? Sometimes I feel like I'm being
Yeah,
punished
right. Yeah,
for
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
So,
and
mhm,
yeah, and others around me are obviously feeling that way too because that explains the lashing out and the the impatience, right? The intolerance anymore. We're a very intolerant bunch of collectives around here. We need to
that's right.
learn how. I hope that comes back a little more tolerance,
Yeah, and
for others.
compassion. Yeah, because yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like um we're doing like 360. So it's like I feel like, okay, before 2020 hit, it was like there was this operation of like, no, like, yes, the individual counts and matters, but there's more to life than just about you or or about
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? And it's like
Yes.
that's how society was going. It was more and more about me, 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 right? And
Absolutely.
like, you know, and there was a disconnection happening. And it's like now it's like we're doing this 360 where it's like, yeah, it's still about me, but what happens to me matters because it affects everything else. Like we're
That's right.
not nobody's immune and nobody's like really on their own. It's like what we say, what we do, how we feel, like it has this ripple effect. And I think that's what's,
Yes.
we're going back to that. And I think that's what part of the struggle. It's like, oh, so it's not just about me, right? And
Well, that and then I've been experiencing feelings of I don't matter at all. I don't matter at all. Nobody matters
right.
less than me on this earth. I contribute nothing. You know what I mean? Because there's
Yeah,
so many loud voices out there. What do they need me for? And so
right.
you can feel so lost in that of I don't
Yeah,
matter, that's which
yeah,
is self-worth and something I've had to work on my entire life.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like, you have to fit a certain mold or look a certain way
Yeah,
to
right?
matter or to be
To
popular.
matter.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and
Or say
I
the
feel
right
like,
thing or
yeah, and that's got to change, right? So
yeah.
it's like um yeah, and I want to refer back to Jesus. So it's like, that's how Jesus would operate. He would be like, I don't care if you're the most beautiful person on this planet or the ugliest person on this planet. Or if you feel worthy or
You
you
are
don't feel
important.
worthy, I love you for you, and
Yes.
let's break bread together. Or it's like he
Right?
that's yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And look at my mom. She says it's crazy because I absolutely matter in my
yeah,
mom's eyes.
that's
So,
sweet. Yeah.
and that's all that matters. But
Yeah.
everybody feels like that. You just start feeling just worthless,
Yeah.
and especially with people being so aggressive, it's been aggressive lately,
It has. Yeah.
2020 for sure. Yeah. So,
Yeah. 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 And I
but
and
you
this
do
yeah,
matter. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to think what else. So the other things that came through for the month, was surrender is a big one.
Yeah. I like that.
So again, and that has to do with more about control. So we tend to we've been taught, like, if you want something in life, you got to work hard for it. You got to
Yeah.
like do blah, blah, all this stuff, all these steps. You got to keep at it. And the
Yeah.
number 7, like, likes to surrender because it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
everyone,
I love
take
that.
a breath. And it's like,
Yeah.
what do you want? You want that? Okay.
Right.
Um, get out of the way. We'll either give it to you or we got something better lined up. But you have to
Yeah.
stop controlling every step of the way. Get out of the way. Like,
Yeah.
go be quiet. Sit over there or go lay down.
Yeah.
Right. That's how that surrender energy applies. So,
I have to show you the 7 of Cups card because you're talking about the 7 and
oh, okay.
surrendering.
Yeah.
So look at that. He's totally just taking his time, deciding which one is best, which bad. He's got all the
Yeah.
things going on in each one of these choices.
Yeah.
He doesn't look in any hurry, does he? He looks in
No. No. And the 7,
no hurry decision there. So
yeah. Yeah.
that's
And
what
the
it
7
reminds me
doesn't
of.
like
Take
to hurt.
take a breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, surrender, and it's related to faith as well. So you just have to have faith. Things will work out, or things will be in your favor. The thing is, though, it's not going to be how you think, or
Yeah. That's
whether
the thing.
that's, how you think it should look like, how you think it should unfold, how you think it should be or appear. Because the 7 is like, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. Like, we know better. We know better.
Yeah.
So you have to have
Yeah.
faith in that, right? Yeah. Um,
Absolutely.
mhm.
And then you
The
get
F,
what you want, what you think you want, but then you didn't realize there was going to be all these other pieces around it falling apart. So you
right.
get the one thing you've been wanting forever, right? And
Yeah,
then 3 other
yeah,
things fall apart around you. And you're like, well, shit, why can't it always just be, why can't just once or just a month or
yeah,
it
yeah,
feels like, so yeah.
yeah. I mean, and sometimes, like, I just want to say, like, if the more you can do that, like, the more amazed you will be. Like, you'll be blown away because it's like, wow, is that ever magical? Or it'll look like a
Yeah.
miracle, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
it takes your breath away. Like, it'll blow your mind, your thinking mind. So, yeah,
It's true.
give that a shot.
Manifestation is real strong
Yeah.
right now too. It's really
Mhm.
strong. So be careful
Yeah,
what you're thinking about and wishing for because it is real
that's
strong.
right. Yeah, exactly. It's also too about secrets this
Mm-hmm.
month. So it can go both ways. So it's like we may tend to keep more secrets, or things keep a secret, from others. It doesn't matter if it's someone you tend to pour your heart or share everything. It's like you'll be drawn, like, no, I'm not going to tell them this yet. And also too,
Yeah.
where certain secrets will come out, will be revealed. So be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Um, Also, nature and natural came up. And I love
Yeah. I saw
this.
that.
And I
Me too.
feel too, like, if people can look at this month, or at, life this month, let nature take its course, or let things happen naturally. I feel like it'll be easier. That will help with,
Yeah.
going day to day this month. So if you can, say, okay, this is nature taking its course, or this is going to happen naturally. I'm going to let things happen naturally. I feel like that
Yeah.
will ease a lot of the pain or suffering or angst that we might be going through. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, it's all in divine timing. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
divine timing takes its time no matter what you think or how long you've been at it or
Yeah,
so let it fold out unfold the way that it needs to because
yeah,
you're being prepared too. I mean, you can't just people do win $1 million in the lottery, but if they're unprepared for that, it goes away very quickly. So you have to
yeah,
be prepared for what you're really thinking you need to thrive in this life too. You
yeah,
need to be prepared for it. So
yeah, yeah. And it's not always about just sitting back. And, sometimes it's just about, okay, you're taking that first step or you're initiating something. And it could be where all of a sudden you feel like, okay, I have a feeling, because a lot of times people will say it'll come out that way. I have a feeling I should leave this be for now, or I should call this person, or I should go here.
mhm.
And that's where it can be like, okay, letting things unfold naturally. It's by like listening in
Yeah,
here, not thinking about it so much or analyzing it,
yes,
right? Because the seven doesn't
yes,
operate with, it's not analytical, it's more spiritual, it's more in here, the
yeah,
heart, the gut, the instinct.
yeah,
And nature too, it's like for people who are, let's say if you having bad moments or a bad day, this is where like nature's going is a great healer right now.
yeah,
So even if it's like, go out for a walk or watch a nature film or show, if,
yeah.
if it's too cold or nasty weather out there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That'll
listen
help.
to babbling brooks and thunder and rain, and if you don't
Yes.
have that either, that's very helpful
Yeah.
for me.
Yes. And it'll relax you. You'll find like nature will be relaxing, it'll be
Yeah,
healing. So use
yeah,
that, use those. There's a lot out there on
yeah,
YouTube, right? Make
yeah.
use of
There
it.
are so many. Yes, I love
Yeah.
YouTube for that.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they play for
I
eight
know.
hours too, so you can put them on
Yeah.
before you go to sleep, and then
Yeah.
it just clears your brain as you're sleeping.
Yeah.
But dreams are real big for people right now too. So sometimes even sleep can be chaotic. A lot of chaos, right? Chaos.
Mhm.
It seems to be the theme for 2021. I guess that's the five
Yeah.
energy, but
Yeah.
just
It
seemed very
is. Yeah.
chaotic.
Yeah. It will be, and it's because it's very. It can be very rebellious. It can be very
Mm-hmm.
rebellious because it goes against no matter what it is. So if it's
Yeah.
against thoughts, ideas, activities, like it likes to challenge the man, so to speak. So that's why it can
Yeah.
be rebellious.
Right.
So at times it can get very physical, it can get chaotic, it can get violent, so people need to be
Yeah.
aware of that. Yeah. So
Yeah. Very aggressive. Yeah.
yeah. Moods and mood swings will happen a lot this month. And even like
Mm-hmm.
sayings related to mood, like I'm not in the mood or I'm in the mood for this. Like I feel like mood will be a big part of the collective this month.
Get your
Um,
get your mood rings out. You remember those?
oh,
Remember
yes,
those mood
yes,
rings?
yes,
I need to get
yes,
myself one of those.
yes. And yeah, so
Mine would be
don't.
all over the place.
Yeah, and like don't be surprised if like, your mood swings a lot this month. So it's like, you're going from I'm so peaceful and calm to like like
Yeah.
things are out of control. And that's where like, okay, nature
Yeah.
will help. Go somewhere quiet, collect and bring in your energy back, right? Find something that will
Yeah.
soothe you from the inside out, right?
Yes. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Ice
I'm just
cream.
looking. Yeah, ice cream.
I'm just kidding. But I do
It
love
could be.
ice cream. Yeah,
For
find
me, it's too
soothing,
cold
find
for
calm.
ice cream right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Right. I
Yeah,
am looking
yeah.
for hot
So,
things.
so that's the thing. I didn't mention it. So it's like, some people might be feeling they're getting the cold shoulder this month.
Oh,
So
yeah.
whether that's from a lover or, your intimate partner, whether you're married or not, or it could be like through a friend. Like I feel like my friend's giving me the cold shoulder, or a family member. It could be at work. It could be
Yeah.
even at the store. Like you go to do your shopping and you feel like, oh, the cashier, I feel like she's giving me the cold shoulder. She's so cold. So that's just
Yeah.
that's just natural this month. People feeling, and it's not because they're doing that on purpose. It's just because a lot of people, there's this presence of like withdrawing from the outside world, like going within more, like wanting to be quiet. So people aren't always going to feel like, open and sharing and lovey-dovey. And so just be
Yeah.
aware of that too. It's natural. There we go. There's the
Yeah.
natural again. Yeah.
For sure. Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
don't take it personally, because it is a month to take things very personally, to be a little overly sensitive. We've got Pisces coming in, and the Hanged Man is Pisces too as well. So we still have
Okay.
that watery,
Yeah.
emotional time ahead of us. But the emotions are moving through us, I feel like, much, much quicker. Like what used to devastate me for days, I am getting over more quickly, and
Yeah.
finding some calm in the chaos. Yesterday when my tarot card deck was shredded, I totally
Yeah.
broke down. I was a mess. But after some rosy comfort, and I started to heal from that. And that would have taken me, forever, just because of the meaning of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's running through us, right? Don't you think? A little bit faster
Yes.
than it
Yes.
did.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had my breakdown. I think it was last Wednesday. Is that when I
Yeah.
contacted you? I think it was Wednesday.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, by Friday, when I woke up Friday, I mean, Thursday, it was still there, lingering, the angst and all the yucky feelings that hit me from Wednesday evening. But by Friday morning,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's lifted. So it's like, yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like, I sat with it, I worked through it, I let it all out, like, the anger, the tears, like everything. I went through the gamut of emotions, and it was like, okay, well, this is good. Like and it's like, okay,
It's
now I
good.
know better next time, right? I know better. Hmm.
Right? Me too. I know
Yeah.
better than to leave my cards out. Lesson learned.
The dogs did not want you to use that deck anymore.
Fuckers.
They were like,
So
this is a
mad.
bad deck. Let's just rip it to shreds for Mama.
Rose is like, in their defense, I'm like, I don't want to hear
I
it.
just feel like that's such a sign, right? So
I
for
did
you,
too. I mean, I
but
just
a good
took it
sign.
as, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it was the end of that month, and it was crappy. Rosie said she felt it coming too. She's like, I just knew it. I just knew something, we were going to end it with a bang, because it's been kind of crappy. So I was
Right.
happy. After I talked it out and processed it and everything, I thought the same thing. I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
Those were not cards I was using. They weren't my Light Seers tarots,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it's okay. And then Michael ordered me these 3 wooden cases with handles on them, so I could, because I have a lot of cards. I really do. I have too many. So,
Okay.
and so he got those for my cards. So how sweet was that? So
Yeah.
they could be
Yeah. That is
protected. Yeah.
lovely.
So
Yeah.
look at what good came out of it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So one more thing, because I as far as the tarot card, because I try to see, so I'm not very well versed in the tarot. Julie's the expert in that, but I try to tune in and see, okay, what tarot card's going to come through. And so for me, the King of Cups showed up.
Yeah. I was trying to find
So
him. Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it on to you, because you're the tarot expert, and you talk about the King of Cups.
Yeah. Well, I thought the King of Cups was appropriate with Neptune, because the King of Cups has a
Okay,
very watery, of course. He's the King of Cups feel to him. So
great.
he's very masculine. I forgot where he is now. The King of Cups, I know you see him as a little bit younger, right? Where my King of Cups is
No,
an older
well, it was
male.
funny. So
Oh,
first, I got King, so King came through strongly, and then it
yeah.
was like of, and then but the image I saw was like like he was bare chested and like muscle, like he has these strong
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
muscular arms and broad chest, like. not a weightlifter, but just look like
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
strong. And it's like I could see the waves
Yeah.
at his feet. So it's like, okay, I think it's cups then. And then, but he had like white, like really long white hair and like a really long white beard and mustache. But he didn't look old. It's
Huh.
almost like,
Well, this
it
one
had
doesn't
to
look
do
old now
with,
that I'm looking at him.
I
Yeah.
don't know if it had to do with wisdom, if the white, right? So yeah, so
Yeah.
he didn't look like a man like in his, I don't know, everyone's version of old is different, but he didn't look like he was
Right.
in his 70s, 80s, 90s. He didn't look old like that. Like he looked
No.
like
No.
middle-aged man or a
Right.
bit younger. Yeah.
Right. Old is
Yeah.
100 now. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, but the King of Cups, I have the older looking Robert Downey Jr. version of the King of
Oh, really?
Cups.
See,
Doesn't he
yeah,
look
see, I
like
don't like
Robert
this
Downey
face.
Jr.?
Yeah, I don't know that kind of, I don't
Right.
like the face on this guy.
Trying to get
No.
the glare off it. Right? This guy is so creepy. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
like his
gonna say
arms
that.
or
I thought,
nothing
no, I
about
better
him.
not. Yeah,
Right?
you said it, Julie.
It's
Yeah,
totally
yeah, I
creepy.
agree. And it's like that's not the.
So, yeah. So I
Yeah,
was
that's why
laughing when you were describing him.
yeah, so it's like when I asked you like what do these kings look like, and then you shared all the different pictures, and it's like, like
Right? I was laughing.
like I like the look of King of Swords.
Yeah, I was
I
going to try
thought
to find the King of Swords because
like,
I
oh,
like
he's,
him too.
but it was like, but I didn't see all these little animals around him, and it's like,
No.
and it doesn't feel like a sword kind of guy.
Well, and the swords are all about mental, words, communication, things like that too. The cups are dreamier and meditative and things like that. So they are
Yeah,
different, completely different energies, really. But I
yeah.
can't find him. That's so funny. Yeah. So yeah, not the King of Cups we were hoping for, but there are other decks. Oh, this one is pretty cool. The King of Pentacles. He's kind of a chilling guy, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of got all his shit together there. He's got
Yeah,
it all.
so kind of, yeah, so it's almost like, okay, take the head off of King of Pentacles and put it on the
Right?
King of Sky.
I wish they would do that, right? Because he's got exactly the look I was hoping for in the King of Cups.
Yeah,
That's the Pentacles. Yeah, so funny.
yeah.
But yeah, I do feel that, and that's kind of that Neptune feel once again. This one is the last one I was going to show you, the King of Swords.
Okay.
He's kind of got
Oh,
the
yes.
man bun going, but he's
Yeah.
got a dragon, so he must be cool.
Oh, I think
But
like
yeah, no,
I want to say like he's
he
so
doesn't do it for
hot.
me.
I know it's a card, but it's like yeah, I like the look of
Oh,
him.
you like this one? Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not crazy about this one either. My guy is the King of Pentacles, I think.
Okay.
I think I like him the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the most chill. He's got it all
Yeah.
together. This guy still seems like he's got a lot of quest to go on. He's got a lot of
Oh,
where the King of Pentacles is chilling by the fire. He's like, I'm just gonna relax now. I think I like that better.
right. Yeah. So I'm just yeah, I guess and the King of Swords, he looks kind of like a bad boy.
He does look like a rebel, right? Maybe he's the energy for
Maybe
February,
that's
the
why,
rebel.
yeah.
Yeah, he
But
does have that
anyways, yeah.
dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
We'll get through.
yeah, we will.
Hang in there,
Yeah, we will.
everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, Arlene. You made it. I'm so happy
Yeah.
you made it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're just about to close the
Right.
show though.
Right?
That's so
Too
yeah.
late.
Yeah.
No.
But Arlene's pretty good.
No.
She's one
It was,
she'll go back and listen. So that's really really good
yeah.
of you to do
We
that.
have a lot of people
Hmm.
do that. Yeah. I
Hmm.
love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So did you
Yeah.
have any last words of advice for the show? That
I think
and,
calm. Find your calm. Find that watery feel. When you're underwater, you're looking up and everything's so distorted. And that's probably how the energy is feeling right now. Everything's a little bit distorted, but we are transforming. We are going through major changes as a world with this virus and everything too. So just hang on. I feel like just find your calm and
mhm.
surrender. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Surrender.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we're going through a point in history that many of us have never been through before. Like this is all new to us. So
Yeah.
it's almost like we need to give each other a break at times. Like
Yes.
take it easy
Right.
on each other and the self. So yeah, so I agree. It's like, we have, instead of focusing on what we don't have, focus on what we do have and use those things to bring that serenity, to bring that comfort, to help you get through
Absolutely.
these times, right?
Absolutely.
And the
Yes.
more that you do it, like the more I feel like we will thrive, we will flourish, we will be better for it, right?
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah. And
Yes.
Arlene's in the mountains, so
Yes.
that's wonderful. Oh, that's
Oh, how wonderful. You're right in nature.
yes,
Take
good for you,
advantage.
Arlene.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. So I'm sure Arlene is like in healing mode. She's in healing
Yes.
surroundings. So
She's in the King of
yeah,
Pentacles mode.
yeah,
Up in her mountain cabin by the
that's
fire.
right. That's right. I want to go.
Me too. We're heading there.
Okay, come on up.
Come on up.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
well, everyone, thank you for joining, and those who popped into the chat room and yeah, shared your thoughts. That's well appreciated. We love that. We love hearing from you. It was nice talking with you, Julie. I think we
Yes.
shared a
Thank
lot.
you all so much. I think
Mhm.
we shared a lot. I think it's probably good for me to listen back to. Sometimes I do that because I miss what we're
Oh,
even
okay.
talking about because I'm in the moment.
Okay.
So I'll probably do that. But and
Okay.
come back for the free readings for sure. I feel bad for the people that were looking for
Yeah.
some advice and stuff. We'll do that soon, very, very soon. So please come
Yeah.
back and
Yeah.
we'll be able to
Yeah.
answer those
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
you.
Like, yeah, look for the announcement. We always tell ahead of time
Yeah.
what date that
Yeah.
free reading show will be. And that's what the post will say. It'll
Yes.
be like free mini readings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
please come back. And I'm so
yes.
sorry. Okay.
Yes. All right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Tina.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.